Okay guys, so we wanted to do a short segment on a popular sort of issue that comes up when we refinish teak furniture, and that is the end grain of the wood. So the end grain meaning where it's cut here at the end of this particular board, or say this particular board. And this is a chair that's been fully refinished. So you can see that it's beautiful and smooth and raw teak wood. But you know, when you look here on the end of the grain here, like right here, the cut, it's a darker color than the top here. And then if you take a look at this here, it's a different color and it's a different texture as well, because that's the end of the grain where it's been cut. So once we put the coating on and we refinish it, you have this color here, which is beautiful and even and nice, but you have the end grain cut where it's kind of dull and raw looking and discolored, just like it was here. So you can put 10 coats of finish on here when you're using a penetrating oil finish, which is what's recommended by the teak manufacturer, but it's not going to change. So we're not clear coating it, we're not staining it, we're not doing anything like that. We're applying a natural penetrating oil finish, which is what's recommended by the manufacturers, which is also what is the best thing to maintain the furniture and to keep it natural. So when you're using this type of coating, you're kind of limited on what you can do, and the end grain is a sort of a part of that. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and demonstrate to you, from a raw perspective and putting a little bit of finish on it, the changes that it's going to make, and we'll go ahead and show you that now. Okay, so we've got our sealer finish here, penetrating oil finish, and then we're applying it. So you can see here on the top, beautiful natural sort of hand rubbed traditional teak oil look, if you will. And then we apply it to the end grain here. Try not to put too much so it doesn't drip. And then you allow it to penetrate in for a certain period of time. So let's see it. So this one looks pretty good, but as you can see, compare this one to this one. When this will dry, it's going to turn into this. It's going to get dark, it's a little bit dull, and that's just how it's going to be because of the cut of the grain. Let's go to the back and let's do the same thing. Look how it just penetrates in and it's kind of discolored. So here you go, this is a pretty good representation. This color here versus that color there. So you got a lighter color here, you've got a darker color here, and you can see even though we just applied the oil, it's kind of dull. And even if we put a sand it with a finer grit sandpaper, it's not going to change the cut. It's not going to change the texture much of the wood. So you allow it to penetrate. Again, I put a couple coats on here, let it sit, then you wipe off the excess, and then it turns dull. And that's just par for the course when it comes to penetrating oil finishes. Again, put some on here where you don't have end grain. It's beautiful. Again, this is for demonstration purposes, so we're limited on time. Beautiful, nice, natural teak compared to kind of a little bit of a dull, discolored finish. Again, that's just par for the course, and this is a demonstration that we're making on end grain. Okay guys, so another thing I wanted to talk about end grain and show you an example of is this coffee table has been fully refinished, and you can see it's beautiful raw teak on the legs, on the top. Take a look at the color on the top and on the legs compared to where it was cut here and the end grain. So it's pretty darn different colors here, and there's not a whole lot that you can do about it. So you can't sand this more. We didn't sand incorrectly or anything like that. It's the nature of the cut and the grain. So once we get the finish on here, it's going to darken up just like the ends of arms and tabletops and wherever the end grain is cut. So we just wanted to point that out and give you an example that so we can prove to people that we're not lying or we're not making this stuff up. But again, different color here, and dramatically different color here on the end grain. Take a look at this chair. This is a vintage chair made by Brown Jordan. This is the Mesa collection that was probably produced about 20 years ago, but just an absolutely beautiful chair and a step above. So what I wanted to point out is the end grain here. So this particular arm is different than most, where it doesn't have end grain. It's been miter cut and fastened, you know, probably mortise and tenon joinery here. And it's for a 20-year-old chair. Look at this cut. Everything is perfect. It lines up great. But my main thing is that there's no end grain. So you're not going to see those dark marks that you see at the end of the chair. However, this chair here, where it has been cut, the end of the piece here, it's dark. Lighter, darker. Lighter, darker. We sanded the whole chair the same way. It's just the end grain cut is darker. And that's just what it is. You've got a beautiful chair, fully sanded. You don't have the end grain here like typically you do on other chairs. You do have the end grain here, and it's dramatically darker. It's just par for the course. And in the grand scheme of things, once you get the cushion on and you set up your furniture, you're not even going to notice it. Okay guys, so just to recap a little bit about our video on the end grain, we on this particular chair, it needed a full refinish, so we cleaned it, sanded, brightened, and we're applying the penetrating oil sealer finish. The penetrating oil sealer finishes are the best because they look natural and then they're maintainable moving forward. So can we sort of correct the dullness on the end grain with some varnish or urethane or multiple coat systems? Yeah, sure we can, but people don't want shiny furniture, at least here on the West Coast. No one wants a shiny film finish unless that's the look you're going for. A yacht finish, something like that. We do those type of finishes, but it's not really common because what happens, they fail, they blister and peel, and it's a ton of work to do. And they offer no greater protection. So if you want something to look natural, we use the penetrating oil finishes, and when it comes to the end grain, you have discoloration, right? Like we've been mentioning throughout this video, and no matter how many grits of sandpaper, how fine you go, how much sanding you do, how much cleaning you do, you're not going to fix the end grain cut. It's just par for the course when it comes to the end grain and the discoloration and stuff like that. So, you know, once you get this chair fully refinished, it's gonna look amazing, and you're not even gonna notice it once you're partying and enjoying your outdoor teak furniture. Again, it's just par for the course. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to our video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that like button. If you have any questions, give us a shout out, and we'll respond to you as soon as we can. If you have different techniques that maybe can help out with that we missed or that we don't know, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. We're always open to hearing what you have to say. Go ahead and follow us, because we're going to come out with videos just like this about exterior wood refinishing and teak furniture refinishing. Take a look at our website, teakmaster.com. It's a website chock full of wealth of information. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tim Gilliam with Teak Master, signing out.